This new moon in Sagittarius is full of a lot of potential and possibilities, but which option is viable? Which options are going to take you to where you want to go? That's the conundrum here. As many of you know, new moons happen once a month, and they're a time when we can set intentions, and usually we will see the fullness, the culmination of it about 6 months from now. And in this case, we will have a full moon completing the cycle next June 11th. So what do you want to manifest right now? Particularly when it has to do with getting more optimism in your life, more fun, more adventure, learning something new. When we're talking Sagittarius, it could encompass a lot of things having to do with expansion in your life. And generally right now, the energy is pretty fortunate. So we want to plant some seeds about what it is you want to manifest between now and June 11th. But I do have to remind you, we are still in Mercury retrograde during this time. So it might not be completely clear until the end of December. So just be flexible and give yourself freedom to kind of feel this out and let this energy take you where it may. Now, when it comes to relationships, this new moon in Sagittarius could bring up issues of, well, people having lots of different opinions, lots of different philosophical perspectives and whatnot. And then you add on Mercury being retrograde during this time. Well, look out for miscommunications, misunderstandings. Just try to be clear as much as possible. Try to have an open mind. Try to have a teachable spirit. I know it's gone these days. We've got to learn again how to have a curious spirit, how to be interested in what other people think and why, so that we can kind of bridge some gaps in our relationships, because I think we've lost that fine art, but we got to get it back. And maybe learning how to put people above opinions will help. I don't know if we can do this, but we should try, especially during the month of December with all this energy. When it comes to resources, there are a lot of things that you might be exploring, especially if you're like a business owner or a content creator like myself, or even if you're just trying to get additional streams of income for your household, however you are trying to do that, as a lot of people are these days. But so much of the energy is in flux, is undergoing transformation with, the monetary system, our values and whatnot, particularly for Americans, that you are probably going to have to just, again, remain flexible and open and not be so dependent on everything being fixed as they were in years past. And that's kind of a hard thing. You could be sitting down at the end of this year looking, like I have, at what has worked and what isn't working and what is your new game plan. But honestly, because there's so much influx and there's so much changing, that my personal intuitive feeling is that many of us are going to have to proceed with caution. Like, as much as we want to write down our plans, there's going to have to be a continuous level of mental agility and adaptation to changes going on in the world and working with what is rather than what we want it to be. So for me, for example, I've been sharing with y'all that I've been working on, my planner for 2025, which I do every year, because I want to work with the energies, not against them. I want to look at what energies are supporting what efforts during each time of the year. And that's not only having to do with the collective energies, but also with your own individual energy, how it's impacting your natal chart. And so, in years past, I would just kind of be like clockwork, but given the energy now, and especially next year, things moving so fast, for me, I believe that the planning that's going to go into goal setting and whatnot, which this energy, new moon in Sagittarius, is great for, but the planning is going to be more along the lines of, I'm going to do this, if that. But if that, I'm going to do this. You see what I'm saying? It is more of being flexible and responsive and adaptive and agile, whereas in the past I've been like, I'm doing this, 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 and this, and here's how I'm going to do it. Gone are those days. And I will even tell you, last year, 2024, I was usually planning every 3 months. I do a 3-month, quarterly check-in to say, okay, well, given the information that I've gotten after this quarter, how do I take that into consideration for the next quarter's plans? Okay, again, very different time, and I've talked to y'all about this, how the energy next year is going to be super different. And when I say different, this is in contrast to years past where you could just say, these are my goals and here's how I'm going to do it, and here's the time frame that I'm going to do it in. There was a lot of fixed energy where things could be relied upon, but now not so much. You have to flex and flow with it. So, I mean, I definitely encourage this. I know some of y'all, y'all like to blow where the wind takes you. That ain't my bag, all right? Double fix here, Aquarius, future. I got a plan. But even for myself, as much as I like to plan with my double fix and I like things to be a certain way, I am having to accept that it's different now. I'm going to have to kind of be more spirit-led in my approach, look at life as more of an adventure. And yeah, I can have goals, but how I go about achieving them might not be as solid and predictable as what it might have been in the past. For humanity at large, I think, generally speaking, this is a super benefic energy. However, those who cannot be open-minded, be flexible, adapt, they're going to have a harder time with this energy. Because especially over next year, we are going to see a lot of more information coming available. And as more information comes available, it is going to require that you kind of tweak things a bit, given new information, given changes that are happening at a rapid pace. And also realize between now and 2026, false narratives are collapsing. So again, I don't want to discourage those of you who want to get into this, right? I'm not discouraging myself. I'm still going to do it. But just keep in mind that some of the things that you want and the ways you think you're going to get there might not actually come together by 2026. Like, you may get more information by 2026, which radically changes maybe what you want or how you go about getting it, because over the next 12 months, you realize that's not what I thought I was, or that's no longer viable, or there's more involved in this than what I completely realized, which totally changes this thing. And this is a huge change for Americans, because this new moon in Sagittarius is happening on the United States natal chart's ascendant. So new beginnings in terms of how we identify ourselves, how others recognize us out in the world. Something with our sense of identity as Americans is getting an overhaul. We have a new beginning happening, and it doesn't surprise me at all, as we are in the midst of our Pluto return. All the 1776 energy that was going on at the founding of this nation, power to the people, revolutionary energy, is what is happening with this new moon in Sagittarius. And so we get this reset, and when we finally have the cycle complete, June 11th, we're going to be coming into the nation's Jupiter return. So very expansive. I do see some frustration going on at that time with that completion culmination, but I think it has more to do with allies and warfare and all that. And if you want to know more about that type of energy, make sure you're following me, because I will post on it, God willing. Those are my plans. Positive ideas for using this energy. Like I said before, set your goals. Just kind of, keep it open-ended, because you don't know when more information is going to come out. Be willing to kind of adjust and tweak and plan as you go. If this is like a little too, I don't know, anal retentive for some of y'all, maybe think about doing a vision board, which I've done before. They're very fun. And, just kind of get some visual representation of what it is that you want to manifest next year. Consider learning something new. If not over the next 2 to 4 weeks, then over the next 6 months. I mean, me personally, I'm like setting a goal that I'm going to learn 20 different AI programs by the end of this year. And so I go into next year as a content creator knowing how to access all these different AI tools to put out better content for y'all. If you're not sure about next year and you want a little bit of guidance, as always, I mentioned I have year ahead readings. I have 12-month forecasts where we look at your natal astrology, and I'll give you specific dates that you can write down in your planner, so that you know when is a good time to focus on family versus career. When is a good time to focus on yourself versus significant others? I could go on because we all go through times of the year when the sun is in these different houses and really supporting a certain particular focus in that area of life. And I like to be on point with that, so that the energy is supporting and assisting me, and I'm not working against something, that's just not in the cards for me, so to speak, or in the stars, And if you want me to talk more about how to plan your year ahead, I know a lot of you with the economy are on a DIY budget. So if you want to know more about how to do this yourself, make sure to give me a comment in the comments down below. Until next time, I'm wishing you a very, very fortunate new moon in Sagittarius. Be blessed.